Maine CDC issuing an updated advisory for freshwater fish consumption due to the discovery of elevated PFAS levels. Elevated levels of the PFAS chemical were detected in fish tissue samples from Sandy Stream in Freedom, Knox, and Unity, and in Sebasticook River in Winslow. Consumption advisories include 3 areas of the Sandy Stream pond. The CDC advises not to eat any fish caught in the Sandy Stream from Stevens Road in Unity to the confluence with the Half Moon Stream. PFAS, known as forever chemicals, have been associated with increased cancer risks, changes in organ function, and other health impacts. All fish consumption advisories are listed on the Maine CDC's